So in this problem, we've been given the cosine ratio, and we have not been given the quadrant. So we have to consider both angles. In fact, we have to give both angles, both positions, as the solution to this problem, because a quadrant is not specified. So when I look at this, I think cosine theta equals 0.450. That means then that the horizontal, because cosine goes with x or horizontal, the horizontal positioning is going to be, in this case, it should have been negative 0.450. So I've got negative 0.450 along the x, and then along the hypotenuse or radius is a ratio of 1. So there's my positioning in here. Okay, now I have my theta 1 position, and if I actually type this into the calculator, I end up with second cos of negative 0.450, and that gives me an angle of 116.74 degrees. This comes from the inverse cosine of the ratio negative 0.450. Okay, so that's our theta 1. Now our calculator does not give us theta 2, and because we don't have the quadrant specified, we do have to consider and account for theta 2. And so since that's the horizontal positioning, there is another angle that has the exact same horizontal positioning in quadrant 3. And that's that green point here. And we can see that we could actually go from this side and just say that theta 2 is the negative version of that same angle, or negative 116.74. And this is perfectly okay, apart from the fact that the question does ask us to give the angle as a positive angle between 0 and 360 degrees. Now this is, don't get me wrong, this is a correct angle. It locates the correct position, but we actually wanted to measure it. The question is asking to measure it in the positive direction. So we want to get to that same position going this way. Okay, so rotating counterclockwise instead of clockwise. And that is a theta 2, a coterminal angle, still the same theta 2, still the same position, but we're going to use a positive angle to do that. And to do that, we're going to use a symmetry. So I'm going to start at 360 degrees, and I'm just going to go backwards, that 116.74 degrees, and that gives me my theta 2 angle. So 360 minus that angle, okay, that gives me 243.26 degrees, and that is the same angle as negative 116.74 degrees, but it's measured in the positive direction. So this is the angle that I want. Now if you gave me the angle of negative 116.74, it is in fact the correct angle, the correct position, but this one just happens to specify that we want the positive version of that. So we have to find the coterminal angle.